So today we are going to be ranking third baseman heading into 2022 here. And we got the tiers here, the best. So one guy will be in there, the A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and of course the garbage F tier. You do not want to be in the F tier. And I think I see two guys who probably will be in the F tier, which is an L. Of course, you do not want to be in the F tier for your MLB player. But before we get into this, who do you guys think I'm going to be putting in the best tier? Who do you think I'm going to be putting in the F tier? Also, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It would be really appreciated. And turn on notifications when you do subscribe, because I want you guys to get notified whenever I drop a video so you can watch it. And, give me a view and give me a like. And also, I get to interact with you in the comments and things like that. Also, helps me out when I'm streaming. Get the notification. You can join the stream. We can talk. We can chat. We can do whatever. Also, MLB Show 22 is coming out real soon, so get ready for that gameplay. If you do play MLB The Show, also subscribe for that as well, because I do stuff like that as well. And I think we might as well get into ranking these guys. So first, we're going to start off with Alec Bowman here. And Alec Bowman did not have a great season this year. Negative WAR, did not play any defense. And when he's not hitting, it just makes him an all-around garbage player. But luckily, he did have a great 2020, and I know he has the potential to do that again. So I'm not going to put him in F tier. I'm not going to completely disrespect him. Also, he's got a big butt. No homo. No homo, okay? Please, don't take it like that. So I'm going to put him in D tier. Really good player when he's on, but just didn't have a great year this year. Hopefully, he can bounce back. Then we have Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman hasn't been the same ever since 2019, but still really good player. Still really solid when he's healthy. Hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. But when he's healthy, of course, look at that 2019 year. He came in second place for MVP, and honestly, he could have won it. Maybe. So I'm going to put Alex Bregman. Though he's been struggling, he's probably been playing more like a B, C tier as of late. I'm still put him in A tier because he has just not been healthy as of late. And same with this guy. Did not have a great year this year. Just struggled. He didn't look like he was motivated at all. And he was injured. He looked kind of injured when he played. But when he's healthy, you look at his 2020, you look at his 2019, look at the 2018, you look at his years prior to this year. He's definitely an A tier. And honestly, he would have been the best if he didn't have such a bad 2020. Now we get to Austin Riley. And Austin Riley had a breakout season this year. I mean, he went completely ballistic, had over 30 homers, batted over 300, had an 898 OPS, had a 132 OPS plus, and he played great defense at third base. He's been improving every single year, definitely, so it's good to see him finally get that year we've always wanted to see out of him. I definitely think he's an A tier third baseman. I think he's going to do it again. I think he's that guy. I think he can do this consistently every single year. I don't know if he can get, 1,000 OPS maybe every year, but definitely what he's doing right now, low 900 to, like 850 and up OPS. I definitely think he can do that with solid defense. So Austin Riley, I think that's definitely A tier. He's going to be doing this for a long time. He's only 24 years old, so watch out for Austin Riley in the future. Next, we have a guy that I thought would break out sooner than later, and it's Bryant Anderson. He just hasn't done it yet. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, and of course, the shortened season didn't help him at all either. I think the Marlins may give up on him since they also traded for Joey Wendell, who is down here as well, right next to J-Ram. I don't know, man. I think Bryant Anderson, great defender. I think he's a great player. Just hasn't really done much in Miami, sadly, and also been dealing with injuries. Only played 67 games this year. Didn't have much power either. I gotta be honest, I think Anderson's a C tier, but when he's on and when he's showing his potential, I definitely think he can be an A tier guy. I really believe in Bryant Anderson. Hopefully, if he does get traded, he's on another team and he plays well. Next, we got Carter Kieboom here. Carter Kieboom, not great. I think he's going to be our first F tier guy. He was supposed to have potential. He was a pretty solid prospect coming into the league and just did not perform the last couple of years. Now, 3 years he's been in the league. It just hasn't done much. Hasn't had consistent playing time though, but still has not performed well at all. So I definitely think he's F tier, just not amazing. Then we get to our first B tier guy, Eduardo Escobar. Great player, switch hitter, utility man, can hit the ball well. I think he hit 30 homers this year, if I'm not mistaken. If not, he was close to that. I think he's a really solid player, plays decent defense, just does it all. Good signing by the Mets, pretty cheap as well, so definitely think Eduardo Escobar is a B-tier guy. Then we have Eugenio Suarez. And Eugenio Suarez is a tricky guy because in 2019 and 2018, really good player. You could honestly make an argument he's A-tier. But the last 2 years just have not been amazing. And he hit 30 homers this year. If you just look at that, you're like, damn, hit 30 homers. Pretty solid player. But besides that, he didn't do anything. He doesn't walk. He strikes out a lot. Doesn't for average. He doesn't play any defense. He just doesn't do anything besides hit home runs. He's not very valuable at all in the field. But, I mean, he does get you 30 homers, and he's been good before. I do believe in Eugenio Suarez, but has been playing up to standards the last 2 years. So I'm going to put him in D tier. Then we're going to go to Evan Longoria. And Evan Longoria had a bounce back here this year. He's 36 years old. And I guess he hit the fountain of youth in San Francisco, which almost all those guys hit the fountain of youth. I mean, Posey went off. Brandon Crawford went off. Brandon Belt was still good. So a lot of those older gentlemen in San Francisco performed well. And Evan Longoria performed well. I don't know if this is a fluke and he just hit the fountain of youth for a year, or he is actually legit again. So, I mean, also played a really solid defense as well. I'm going to put him in C tier for now, but you guys may say he's B tier because he had a great year. He has to perform as well in the past, couple years or so. So we'll see. If he does perform well again this year, I definitely think he's up in the B tier. He had a really good year this year. Then we go to Gio Urshela. And Gio Urshela did not have a great year this year. Dealt with a lot of injuries, just wasn't amazing out of him. The Yankees' offense in general, besides Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, was pathetic. But Gio Urshela in 2019 and 2020 was amazing. Great hitter, plus, of course, elite defense at third base. I think Gio Urshela is a B tier. I think he's going to bounce back next year, whether it's on the Yankees or it's on another team. Then next, we have our second F. Hunter Dozier. Hunter Dozier, ever since he got that contract after 2019, has been completely disgusting. Not a great defender, not a great hitter. Don't think he's that good. I think he's an F tier third baseman. I don't think we can really argue that either. He just has not performed well the last 2 years, and I don't know if it gets any better. I think that 2019 was a fluke year, and it's clearly shown. I mean, negative 2.5 WAR this year. Just not good. I think he absolutely finagled the Royals. Definitely got a nice little extension and took the money right from their hands. Then we have Isaiah Keiner Falefa here, and I did rank him as a shortstop, but then again, that was before the Texas Rangers went out and signed Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, so now I gotta rank him again, and I'm gonna still rank him in the same spot, C tier. Great defender, but no pop in that bat whatsoever. If he can just hit for some average, he's definitely a B tier guy. Then we go to JD Davis here. JD Davis is never healthy at all, but when he is on the field, he's really solid, so I'm going to put him in C tier. Then we go to Jeimer Candelario. Jeimer Candelario, very, very underrated third baseman. If he did not play in Detroit, I think he would be a lot bigger of a name and a lot better as well, because that ballpark is not great. Comerica just does not help you at all. Like Miguel Cabrera played in his prime years somewhere else, like in Yankee Stadium or on Coors. I mean, GG, Miguel Cabrera is something else. But Jeimer Candelario, I think he's a really solid player. I'm going to put him in B tier. Really good bat, switch hitter. I like him at third base. We go to a guy the Marlins did trade for in Joey Wendell, and I think he's a C tier guy, maybe even B tier. He was an all-star this year, had a really hot start, hit the ball extremely well, kind of dwindled off at the end of the year, but still really solid. Also a pretty good postseason performer as well. And, I mean, just great glove at third base. The Rays produce talent, so hopefully Joey Wendell at third base this year can be really solid. Then, in my opinion, the best third baseman in baseball, not Josh Donaldson, J-Ram. J-Ram, I mean, obviously the best third baseman in baseball. Switch hitter, he steals bags, he hits homers, hits for some good contact as well. Gets on base. I mean, what can't you get out of Jose Ramirez, man? This guy's one of my favorite players in the league. Extremely underrated as well. I'm surprised more people do not talk about J-Ram as the best third baseman in baseball. I'm surprised more people just in general don't talk about J-Ram. Really good player, and I hope he gets more praise. Maybe he gets traded to a team that will, give him more praise, because the Guardians they're not cutting it. Let's be honest, who cares about the Guardians? So, hey, get J-Rim on the Yankees or something like that, and he will be respected throughout the league. Next, we got a former MVP, the bringer of rain here. I think he's a B-tier guy. Not, of course, his MVP himself, but still really solid defender and hits the ball hard and hits it well. So, definitely think Josh Donaldson is a B-tier. Had a solid year in Minnesota. I think maybe he'll play out that contract pretty well. Just, the team is not going to be ultra competitive while he's playing, which they thought that team would be, and he would have been that great addition, but Twins just didn't play well, so we'll see what happens with Donaldson. Maybe he gets traded. I doubt it with that big of a contract and how old he is, but I mean, he just performs well every single year. After Donaldson, we have Josh Rojas, a player for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's really solid, I guess. I mean, had a pretty solid year. Over 100 OPS plus this year, 750 OPS. I mean, he's all right. I don't really know too much about Josh Rojas, so with that year, I guess I'll put him in C tier. Not bad. Then we go to Justin Turner here. Justin Turner, I mean, this guy, fine wine, still really, really good. I mean, hits the ball well. Not the greatest defender, but I mean, when he's hitting the ball like that, doesn't really matter. I definitely think he's a tier third baseman. Then next we have Bryant Hayes, who I thought was going to have a breakout year this year, and he just didn't perform how I would imagine him playing at the plate. Just wasn't amazing, great. I think he dealt with some injuries as well, but I mean, if that 2020 year showed us anything, it showed that he could be a really good hitter. He also, of course, is an amazing defender, so I'm going to put him in C tier because his defense does elevate him. His hitting will improve, I definitely think so. I think he's going to be the face of the Pirates. Maybe O'Neal Cruz, one of those two. But yeah, Bryant Hayes, really good player. Hope for him to do really well next year, but just didn't have a great year last year. Hopefully he can do well. Then we got Chris Bryant here. Chris Bryant, obvious A tier. I mean, this is strictly third base, but he's a utility man. I mean, he hits the ball well. He plays solid defense anywhere, so I mean, who wouldn't want Chris Bryant? I definitely think he's an A tier. Also a former MVP, so good to see him there. Then next we have the third baseman out of Milwaukee, Luis Arias. And Luis Arias, I mean, really, really, really solid. Had a breakout year this year. Wasn't amazing before this year, but hey, he played well. Over 100 OPS plus. Really solid year. He even hit 23 home runs, so I'm going to put him either in C or B. I mean, he has been amazing besides this year, and I would even say this year was elite tier, so I'm going to put him in C tier for now, but I definitely think he can move up in the rankings. Then we go to Manny Machado, and Manny Machado, I mean, easily, he's an A tier guy. I mean, one of the best third base defenders in the league, and great hitter, hits the ball hard. He got extremely unlucky this year and still put up great stats. Just look at his 2020. It'll show you when he's getting not unlucky, and he was still getting kind of unlucky in 2020. I mean, when does Manny Machado just not get unlucky? But still, really good player, A tier third baseman. Same with Matt Chapman. I know he didn't have a great year this year, but look at his other years, and it'll show you he's one of the best third basemen in the league and the best defensive third baseman in the league as well. So, hey, Matt Chapman, A tier. Same with Nolan Arenado. Bounced back after horrific last year and played well in St. Louis. Hey, was helping them get to that playoff spot. Had a good OPS, hit for some homers. Wasn't expecting the same years he would have in Colorado because, of course, Coors, but still really, really good year. So, good out Nolan Arenado. Then we got Rafael Devers. I think he's A tier as well. I mean, who doesn't love Rafi? Big scoops, Devers. I definitely think he's A tier. Hits bombs, and not the greatest defensively, but who cares when he hits bombs like that in Boston? Then we have Ryan McMahon here. I think Ryan McMahon is a really, really solid third baseman, especially in MLB The Show. That guy is a fucking animal. So I am going to put Ryan McMahon in C tier because he's a really solid third baseman. Then we got Espinal. I think Espinal is also C tier, really solid. Played his role last year perfectly for the Toronto Blue Jays. And I'd say the same thing about Yandy Diaz. I think Yandy Diaz is a great player, C tier guy, not the greatest defender, but hits the ball well and does his job for the Tampa Bay Rays. We got Yoan Moncada here. Yoan Moncada, I'm going to slip him in B tier because, I mean, switch hitter, hits for some pop, gets on base, plays solid defense at third base. I mean, really solid third baseman. And Patrick Wisdom, same thing, had a really solid year. Hopefully he can cut down on the strikeouts, or else he's not going to be good if he doesn't cut down on those, because he doesn't walk as much either. So he's kind of pulling a hobby or bias, but I think Patrick Wisdom, really solid third baseman. And that's my tier list. What do you guys think? I got J-Ram as the best third baseman. I got Alex Bregman in A, Rendon, Austin Riley, Justin Turner, Chris Bryant, Machado, Matt Chapman, Nolan Arenado, Rafi Big Scoops Devers, Escobar in B, Urshela, Candelario, Donaldson, Moncada, and Patrick Wisdom. Then we have in C, Anderson, Longoria, IKF, JD Davis, Joey Wendell, Josh Rojas, Brian Hayes, Luis Arias, Ryan McMahon, Espinal, Yandy Diaz. Then in D, Alec Bowman, Eugenio Suarez. In F tier, Carter Kieboom and Hunter Dozier. L for those guys, but A. Maybe they can improve, especially maybe Carter Kieboom, because he had potential. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Leave a like and drop a comment. How do you guys think of the tier list? And yeah, love y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.